and we are back once again right here on the number one rated business show. Got another great show for you guys today. We got a lot of interesting worldwide work that we're gonna be talking about today. I'm so glad y'all are tuned in. Share this, send it out to everybody that you know, because these people are some wonderful, excellent, great people, and the type of work that they're doing. And we also want y'all to support them. So with me in studio today, Mr. Douglas Johnson and Miss Akila Love. Thank y'all so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Now, you guys are the founder of the DNA brand.
That's right.
All right. Tell me a little bit about that, because I was scared y'all was going to come here trying to draw my blood. So, but no, tell me a little bit. I know both of you guys have extensive careers in basketball, entertainment, and being entrepreneurs, but tell me a little bit about this DNA brand that you guys have produced.
Right. So you're right. We have some experience in entertainment and restaurants, and, always found ourselves also kind of drawn to do community work. So we would have parties for a purpose. We'd work some initiatives in communities that are under-resourced and underserved and that type of thing. And so, we started out when it wasn't the DNA brand. We had different initiatives, and then we decided to just have the DNA brand. And DNA meaning, bringing us back true to our purpose, what our DNA and destiny wanted for us. So we created a brand that has a few different divisions that help us improve the lives of others in mind, body, soul, and finance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, what got you guys into this work? Let's go back a little bit now that we know who you are. So how did your career start, and what guided you to this?
So, my family background, they were always like community leaders and in politics and that type of thing. And I always was involved in doing something to give back, and it felt great. And it became a part of me. And I just think that's me naturally anyway. So everything we did, in all of my careers, it always ended up being something, to make a difference.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, we kind of aligned in that way. I think that's kind of what brought us together, because he kind of thinks the same way.
Okay. Me having an athletic background, I found the need, especially young Black men. There's a void for as leaders, as far as finding leaders to help you and stuff like that. So for me, growing up with a dad, it seems to be something that's it's in our community a lot. So for me, I'm like, okay, why not take my experiences that I went through, coming from Canada and playing at an athletic level, and kind of, reach back to the young kids and kind of prepare them for what they will not be expected to face when they get to that level. You know what I mean? So just kind of give them my blueprint to help them make their blueprint a lot easier.
Wow. Now, do you see the same problems that we have in the United States over in Canada when it comes to us?
Yeah, it's actually worse, because actually coming here to Atlanta, I'm like, as far as, Black folks, everybody seems to work together. It's more people here, and everybody's pushing for one another. Whereas in Canada, it's more, you got more of that crab in the bucket mentality, because it's minimal opportunity. So everybody's fighting for that one spot. So it's more a division rather than people coming together.
Wow. So some of the things that you guys are doing, kind of just break down to us a little bit what the organization does and how y'all serve communities.
Absolutely. So the DNA brand, we started out with that being our entertainment sector, where we would do parties with a purpose. Proceeds would go to the shelter or collections of, feminine products and diapers and that type of thing, which we would drop off to shelters. And then we started to just branch out. COVID happened, and, public events were cut.
Oh, yeah.
So, right. So we had to reinvent the wheel. And so we decided DNA Health, because we all needed to boost up our health. So we then just started to import and distribute CMOS and, vitamin supplements, just to really restore our bodies. COVID took a hit on a lot of people, especially us. We had it rough, and we thought, this is how we got to do it. We got to help bring back everybody to health. And, we learned how to do it, so we wanted to share it. So that became one division.
Wow.
Then during the pandemic, in North America, being Canada and the US, we had resources to eat and live, and I had a friend that actually moved to Ghana. They didn't have any opportunities at all. No public assistance, no social service, nothing. So they really started to struggle. And he shared a community with us but a lot of orphans, 153 to be exact at the time. And they were squatting on a piece of land, beautiful beachfront land. And, the Asian government came in and bought the land for their own development and, purposes, and just removed all the squatters, literally. I mean, on our page, we're the DNA brand on Instagram. On our page, there is a video showing they literally came in and bulldozed them like they were just pieces of wood, or, these are humans. So
Wow.
right after that, and I don't know how, it's only God that got us in a pandemic where everybody else was struggling. And so were we, because, our business has gone down, that we were able to adopt this village of kids. We were able to get them food and shelter, daily food and shelter and somewhere to live. And then, after about a year of working through donations and, putting in our own and grinding it out for them, we were able to open them a school as well. So that was the second division, that was the Project Ghana, is what it is. And
now you would expect, because I actually know a lot about Ghana. I know a lot of folks over there, but you would actually expect, this place of all of us and Black folks and that type of nature, that we'd be doing a lot better over there.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I know that there's good parts. It's a lot of it. A lot of folks will tell you it's a lot like the United States, just lacking some of the technology and that type of stuff.
That's
but
right.
the more parts that you guys are working with, how does something like that happen?
So what happens is there's a lot of mothers and fathers that have passed away, and the kids literally just become, panhandlers on the street. Some of the parents are young. These are, girls that have had babies at 10 and 11 years old, can't take care of them. So, and then you have parents that are poor and leave the village to go to another village to work. And these kids are just left on the street to fend for themselves. So my family member that had moved there for the year during the pandemic just didn't want any part of being, anywhere else, wanted to go home to Africa and figure it out for a year. Kept seeing this man with picking up all these orphans, and they put him onto me. So essentially what happens is that they're just left to panhandle, and there's tons of it that happens there. And his worry was human trafficking and all that type of stuff. Right. So we jumped in, like I said, because of that reason. They just don't have the resources. But DNA also stands for, I believe that, each and every one of us has the same potential. We just need to be, give access to resources and someone to guide and care and educate. That's where we jumped in. And so many of those kids, I mean, from the day we started in 2020 to now, you see the growth in the kids, intellectually, they speak English, they're healthier. Before, some of them had no hair. They have hair, they're healthier, they talk, they smile brighter. I mean, they were always happy, even though, the position they were in, but we just see the growth in them. So I know that if we could do that much, in a couple of years, how much more we could do by really implementing programs and, properly getting them to be self-sufficient. So the answer to your question is that, it is very different there. I mean, when they don't have, it's right down to water, where we might not have, it might be something else, but we still have access to water and food. There are programs set up for us, but they didn't have it. So we want to create that. And we also want to educate them so that they can become anything they want to be, right?
Sports as well.
Okay.
Like just all that's because, for example, they have a kid that's 9 years old and he's an amazing boxer. So it's just a matter of getting them that exposure. Like their dad wanted to send them to America to be with us, just to give them an opportunity. So for me personally, again, it's like we're here in North America and the same problems that we have here, they're having over there but worse. So again, it's for us to just bring in awareness, creating support systems and things that we take for granted being here, like the basic necessities like food and water, being able to get up and go to the store, like they would dream for that. So it was actually, humbling for me and for her to look back and see these kids were so overjoyed on just getting a Tonka truck. Meanwhile, these kids here in North America, you give them that same Tonka truck. I don't want this. I want a PS5. So it's just bringing awareness, so letting people see we got to appreciate what we have, and
that's true.
It goes a long way.
Yeah.
One thing I love about entrepreneurs is all of us are under that mindset. We don't have to wait on somebody to tell us what to do. We see something and we go do it. And I think it's that much more admirable when you're not doing it for profit and what you guys are doing. Right. How do you get started in something like this? Like, how does it technically come together? Because we got a lot of young folks that want to do a lot of this type of stuff that watch the program. So I'd love to, give them some advice.
Absolutely. So the first thing I'm going to say is we didn't even have a plan. When they bulldozed them off that land, I think I cried for 2 nights. I couldn't even sleep because they were walking around looking for shelter. And so, it starts here, right in the heart. And we just did what we had to do. The first thing I did was, I think I sent over something like $50 and they were overjoyed. It fed them for a week. It was crazy. And then we just started sharing it to other people, family and friends, and everybody started donating. And then it just grew into this amazing foundation we're about to launch just overnight, just by doing it. So there is no rhyme and reason. We just did what it took. You know what I'm saying? We just did
Wow.
it. And sometimes I'd sit back and I'd, strategize it. But for the most part, it was, okay, this needs to be done. How are we going to do it? We need X amount by this date. Let's get it. So it was sending out text messages and everything else. And then I started a GoFundMe. And then I thought, I don't even need to do all this. If I don't want to keep giving them the fish. I want to teach them to fish. So I saw the big picture and I'm like, all right, we got to do a foundation. We got to do a school. Some of these kids can come up here and be educated, go back, build it up. That's how we started thinking, just because we saw in no time the development and the growth in those kids in the first month alone, we had got them all health checks. It was amazing just to see, how things just started to unfold. So I did start with just doing it. Then I got into the legal parts, registered the nonprofit, went through those channels, spoke to other people, started to do research.
Break down that process for folks real quick, because folks think it's so hard to get this type of stuff and they don't realize it's filling out your paperwork.
That's all
just
it
break
is.
down the process of becoming a 501c3.
Absolutely. So the first thing we did was just registered as a LLC.
Okay.
I did a lot of research on other organizations such as United Way and that type of thing, and sent emails and just inquired on stuff. And then I sat with a pastor of the church and I said to him, I really want to make this into a foundation. I don't want to do GoFundMe anymore. And I don't want to just keep it basic.
Okay.
I want to be one of the organizations and the nonprofits that really helps our people and not just puts big pictures and billboards of helping.
Hands-on.
I really want to help.
Okay.
So, you do go into the nonprofit application. I mean, every state has a different way of doing it. And it's just basically search how to do your 501(c)(3). Some people hire lawyers to do it. One of my friends did that way. And I said, well, let me see the application. It's actually quite user friendly. It does take a long time, but you just do your due diligence and research, other organizations that are doing similar things.
Okay.
And it's just all online. I completed it all. And then it asks you to go in and, provide different, paperwork of who you are and, your background. You have to do a bio and a little thing and what the regions you want to serve. And it's all very user friendly. It is very intimidating at first because it looks like a lot of paperwork, but if you really want to do it, you just do it.
With it being so many nonprofits out there this day and age, is it something that gets competitive for you guys? Do you find yourself sometimes fighting for funding or fighting to get donations, whereas other charities are looking for that same money?
That's a good question. I believe it could. I hold hands with others. I don't use it as competition, per se, but we haven't really done the funding part as yet. We pretty much family and friends and, our own resources and, the ball, would be a fundraising event. I do see us as different in that, yes, we're Black owned. Yes, we're going to be hands-on. Like Doug said, we do plan to go to Ghana. I'd love to help them build their houses and that type of thing. But the difference for me is that in doing a lot of research with other companies that do the same thing, other organizations, I guess you could say the administrative fees usually are higher than the actual money that's delegated to help these communities. That's going to be very different for us. I don't care about all the, billboards and heavy advertising and heavy admin. We have a team with a lot of people, who do it for missionary. We have students, I have family members. I mean, we all do it. We all have our own jobs, but this is like what we need to do. And the other part is there's so many regions globally that need our help. I will never fight to be in the same region as somewhere else because, right now we're in Ghana, we're in Canada, where Doug is from in Nova Scotia. We're doing some work here right in Atlanta. And in the fall, we'll be adopting a school in Barbados as well. However, there's so many different places in Barbados and other islands and in America and even in Georgia and, that need help. So in terms of that type of thing, I'm not worried about the competition. You know what I mean? And I also know that we're not just trying to feed them. We're trying to develop them. As far as education, there's some, like Doug was saying, sports. Some of those kids, they should be on a basketball court and they want to. My son plays hockey. Some of them want to play hockey like him because they watch his games, and then there's some that sing. And then there's some beautiful girls that just want to model. So, it's not even just, English and math. It's about, your passion. What do you dream of doing? Because whatever you dream of, you can achieve. And I don't want, these kids to think, well, we're here in Africa and we can't do it. Yes, you can.
I fight with my
Yes, you
daughter.
can.
I fight with my daughter about that constantly.
Yes,
What
you
is it you
can.
gonna do with your life?
Yes, you can.
But it's definitely beautiful what you guys doing, and I love how you're approaching the mindset of these kids and trying to help them be a lot more open-minded about the possibilities in life. Because I think a lot of times that environment dictates what you think you can be. Because if you don't see it in your life, trust me, you'll never reach out for it.
Absolutely. So our campaign and for the grants that we will be providing for the diamonds, the ones that are doing amazing and have that mindset, it's called Dare to Dream.
Okay.
So I dare you to dream. What is it that you want to do? You know, I want to sing, but yes, you can. And you're right. Absolutely challenge yourself. And I think mindset, I know mindset's about 90% of where we're going to get. So in mentoring them, and I mean, we FaceTime them all the time, but I just can't wait to get there and just, let them. And you're right. Environment has everything to do with it. Right. And so we can't be there physically and in the person, but, we actually help tailor a lot of the curriculum. And then in meeting them, it's good to let this is what you can do. Like we FaceTime them, we might be at a basketball game, or I might be, traveling, or my son will FaceTime them from the rink. On Christmas Day, we actually threw a party for them, and we had a lot of people donate. So every year, this is the third year in a row we've done a Christmas party for them. So we have tons of donations. Actually, the NHL sponsored us. Was it the first year?
First year, yeah.
The first year they sponsored us, and that party was huge. And so on that day, those kids realize dreams do come true. And then they FaceTime us all day. So I'm like, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want this new year? And then they start to dream. So it starts in their minds. You know what I'm saying? And once you grasp their attention, knowing that they can do it, that starts the process for them.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now we got to talk about these parties. First of all, why was I never invited? Second of all, tell us a little bit about the parties for a purpose.
That's Doug's department.
I also done personal training, and my thing is, I would train a lot of single moms, right?
Okay.
And again, the absence of the dad being present. It's like from Monday to Friday, everything is work, kids, work, kids, work, kids. So I'm like, you know what? They need to get a break. Like they need to get their mind off of that, 9 to 5 schedule working with the kids. So they need a break. Mom needs to have a chance where she can just, let her loose. So I'm like, you know what? I want you ladies to train with me. So you're taking care of your body physically, take care of yourself mentally, but also I want you to also enjoy yourself. Come out and have fun. So let's not just throw a party for the sake of throwing a party and doing whatever with it. You know what? We're going to focus on these moms. It's all about them, their kids, and change their mindset for everybody. Because at the end of the day, we all go and party every day. And what do we get out of it?
No, I'm with you on that.
So let's do it for a purpose. I mean, these ladies, like, think about it. As a single mom, my mom raised me and my 2 other siblings by herself. She had no other outlet. So you got to think about that. How stressful was she all, like, every day just focus on us and not on herself? Let's give me some mommy time. Let's put the kids in bed, go away, and just enjoy yourself for a couple of hours.
Now to live such an accomplished life as well as be so focused on giving back, what was your upbringing like?
It may sound, it wasn't great, but you know what? I got to the point in my life where, I stopped focusing on the problem and I became solution oriented. And for me, it's something that's personal because I come from a little small town in Nova Scotia where, if you go way back, the first blacks landed that went to Canada went to this little small town. I grew up with no running water.
Wow.
And this is in the 80s. Literally no running water. You go outside to use the bathroom and stuff like that. So it was very poor. And you would think that you wouldn't have like places like this in Canada. But
no, you wouldn't.
It's something that we consider as like the third world of Canada.
Wow. I
love Atlanta because Nova Scotia reminds me of Atlanta. Like I lived off the land where I farmed. We had to kill our own livestock to things of that nature, go fishing and stuff like that. So it was like, it was very segregated. Like blacks were here, whites were here. I only saw white people on TV, and this is in Canada. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me, it was hard. So we moved from Nova Scotia to Toronto to the big city to create an opportunity for ourselves, to open up avenues that are not open up back there for us. So basically, I'm taking everything that I've experienced then, and I'm tapping it into now. Like for an example, with COVID, I got extremely sick. I'm overcoming, the long COVID situation. And I'm
Okay.
like, you know what? I lost so much friends during COVID.
Oh,
As
yeah.
men, we don't take care of ourselves. And I had a personal friend that died maybe 3 months ago, and I had to do a GoFundMe for him. And I'm telling the kid, I'm like, we're doing GoFundMes for people. And I'm like, well, we're trying to be hands-on with our people. We got to educate them as well. So with the DNA Financial Division, I'm just like, you know what? Life insurance. I wasn't raised on life insurance. Like to us, it's like when you're growing up poor, your parents are so focused on making sure that you have food on the table, the lights are on, that it's just a rat race. You're not
Oh,
teaching
yeah.
your kids anything. And we don't realize that, as barbaric as it sounds, that's how we start generational wealth, because other nationalities are doing it. We can't escape that. We're all going to die at some point, right? So if I die and I leave nothing for my kids, this cycle continues. It doesn't break. So, with that, I'm just like, we have to switch this by educating these kids. And that's why our whole focus is we have to be hands-on with everything. And I don't really care about the bigger companies, because for me, I'd rather be a small fish and a bigger pond where we're more hands-on, where people can reach out to us and we can reach out to them and we can teach them as we're going, because it's so important. Now, just think about it. I did the GoFundMe, he passed, we're raising money. Now, think about it if he had life insurance.
Yeah.
Think about if he's teaching his kids about life insurance. When he goes, they have something to now create their own wealth.
No, I love that mindset, because you don't see that in a lot of Black men. We're not
Yeah.
that forward thinking,
Right.
that generational thinking, and now you're starting to see more and more people, have that mindset. But that's so important, because I remember my father passed away. Literally, I was the only one left with his policy, and it was just enough to bury him,
Yeah.
and that was it. And not saying that I wanted something off his death, but in the same breath, that's a big thing in your life. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Being able to pass that on to your kids, making sure that they straight,
Mhm.
making sure, you know what I'm saying, you got some type of support for the family. So I
Yeah.
love that you guys are teaching that.
That is one of our divisions too, and that's a big one. And, as soon as we get, Ghana situated, the next thing is teaching them financial literacy, because we want them to, when we're gone, what's our legacy to leave, making sure that we've set them up for success as well. And then he's right. We have a really big task ahead of us to educate, our people on it as well. So we
Yeah.
do have a DNA Financial as well. That's a division that we're also launching at the Ball. And we do have financial literacy programs that everybody who's involved with us, we, expect them to take and just help build us up one person at a time, one community at a time, one region at a time.
It's so important, that financial literacy, because I find, coming from poverty myself and the lower class and this type of stuff, it's you live in a survival mode for so long, and you
Mhm.
just trying to survive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard to think about gaining 5,000 or gaining, hundreds of thousands of dollars when you need $50 to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So teaching that financial literacy, I think, is such an important piece. Now, tell me this: how difficult is that for you guys, dealing with people in bad situations, though, trying to explain to them it's a different way to go about things?
Right. So I was into finance from about 2012. And in the beginning years, it was extremely difficult. But one of the blessings and the silver lining of COVID is it made it easier, because people now understand the need. We've lost so many people. And then you're even looking at, when you're sick. I know when we were sick for a couple days there, we didn't know if we were going to make it. Literally, we were bad. And so people are now more aware of the importance of ensuring their lives and the lives of their family members, right? So I'm not saying it's going to be simple, but, the most we can do is educate, and make the resources available as well, and the importance of it, and I plant the seeds. He's right. And so I think with that, our people are going to look at things a little bit differently. I do see some influencers and some people with louder voices than us also, letting people know publicly, like, this is what we got to do as a people. And I do work with Italian people, and I do work with some Jewish people, and all that I've learned from them is that they are in the positions they are financially generation after generation because of generational wealth that they pass on to the other. I mean, I know you had enough to bury your dad, just enough. We did it for my dad. But in those families, you're able to bury your loved one, and then you're able to create, that from that legacy. So you're creating a legacy by leaving money. It's not that we want something. We kind of have that mindset that we have to change. I know you were like, it's not like I wanted something from him. Nah, it's that he wants to leave something for you to create something, go open a business, Go and create something that your children will have when you're gone.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's what all of those, the Italians and the Jewish people that I've worked with, that's how they create generational wealth over and over. All that old money, that's all it is. It's life insurance, and to make sure people are protected, not just to cover burial, but to create, a new chapter of greatness for their family. Mm-hmm.
Now you guys are hitting on health and wellness,
Mm-hmm.
on financial education,
Mm-hmm.
on school education, this type of thing. Do you guys deal in STEM or technology and this type of stuff with these younger minds?
So that's where, we collaborated with a company who's dealing with that. So our financial literacy courses will actually tap into STEM. I believe they already are currently doing that. It's not my area of expertise.
Okay.
I just want to reach everybody that I can reach, but also have them curate, the curriculum and the courses and all the technology involved. So that would be a them question, but I absolutely endorse, collaborate with them. We're partners. We'll be launching them as well, and they'll be sharing more at the ball. So to learn more about that question, I invite you to the ball.
Now let's get into this ball. Tell me all about the diamond ball and what we're gonna be doing. We're not gonna be drawing blood, thank God.
Right.
But but tell us all about the ball and who it supports and what people can expect.
Right. So, we play hard. I mean,
Okay.
we work hard, but we want to play hard. And we like to be cute playing hard. So the ball is definitely going to be a formal event.
Okay.
It's going to be at the Thompson Buckhead. We are so excited to get dressed and, enjoy amazing music. We do have 4 artists, coming out, an amazing DJ coming out. And it's going to be a night of elegance, a night of announcements, a night of red carpet, announce of launching of the foundation and really breaking it down. We've got some videos. We're going to actually zoom the kids in, in the village in Ghana.
Wow.
So it's going to be a beautiful night. I'm looking forward to it being our first one of an annual event. This one's going on in the books. The red carpet is going to be a whole experience, and then the actual ball. And so what the ball will consist of is musical live performances, amazing announcements, the explanation of the divisions and what we're doing and why. And this will be a fundraiser that will basically fund all of the initiatives that we have on the ground right now, and the new ones, such as the school that we're adopting in Barbados. So, those programs need mentorship. They need support, not just financial, but also, people that want to come in and, do mindset work. We do have a lot of motivational speakers that we have in mind, and, a lot of good stuff cooked up. But to start it, I mean, we've been able to take care of the village for the last 2-3 years. But we want to hold hands with others that want to join us on those missions, come with us to Ghana, come with us to Barbados, or even just, contribute and help watch it grow, be along the journey. So the ball is definitely going to be a night that, no one will forget. We plan to have a great time. We haven't had a party in 4 years. And, before.
And it's our birthday. Her birthday's on the 11th. Mine is on the 14th. So it's going to be the ball, birthday celebrations.
We're going to turn it out.
Right.
And, before this, the parties that we did were always a good time, always a sold out event, always a vibe. Always a vibe. And that's what we want to recreate. We really want it to be fun, but for a purpose, and pretty much 100% of the proceeds are going, with the exception of a few expenses the night of. But other than that, we want to just really have a solid budget to move forward, by our people, for our people.
Now, I saw some familiar faces on the flyer, like Dr. Tart and several other folks that I recognize.
Yeah.
What are they going to be doing?
So I'm glad you asked that. So in moving here, we were quiet for a bit, and I was able to really sit back and appreciate certain things in life. And each of the award recipients that I picked out, Doug and I picked out, were handpicked. And these are people making a difference in the community.
Okay.
So these are people that are doing what we're doing in their own right. And, I don't want to take the flowers. I also want to give the flowers to other people who are doing amazing things. So like Dr. Tart, Doug and I went and did a weekend retreat of love that they, put on, they created, and it was amazing. And it wasn't just, to remind you how to love. It was also, the men did the men's den, the women did the women's thing. We came together, supported and loved each other, but then it reminded us how to love and, putting God first. I mean, it was a heck of a weekend. It was fun. But I love what they do to keep couples together, keep families together, instill strong values, have fun with it, but also keeping God up front. You know, it was a weekend of, you know, where you felt beautiful inside and out. You know, every event you looked beautiful, but you also felt beautiful. It was a lot of prayer, a lot of fellowship, a lot of reflecting, a lot of soul searching. It was just amazing. And I thought to myself, look at these two beautiful people. Like they're just creating. I mean, there were, how many couples would you say?
About 120.
About 100 something couples, and everybody just like vibrating so high, so happy, so grateful for life because of what they put on. Right. So I thought you're definitely diamonds to the community. You're enhancing the lives of others.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and
It all started at home.
yeah, you know, and hats off. I mean, we need more love in the world. We need more, you know, unity and harmony and peace. And that's what they're creating. So I thought it was an amazing couple to showcase. I love them both. And then everybody else on the flyer. I mean, Barbara Joy is a doctor who.
Oh yeah, she's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So she's a whole model. She's balancing, you know, a practice, which many of our kids that we've spoken to over the years, I want to be a doctor. And she is that role model. She's that example of someone, and she's been through all her trials to get there, and she did it. So it was important for me. You know, she's also now expecting, and, you know, some people,
really?
she is
Tell
twins,
congratulations.
Twins on top of it. So, you know, I thought that was cool.
Both out the way early.
Yeah. And, you know, there's people that have, you know, fertility issues and stuff. Again, another great example. Right. And so, you know, just throughout the whole list, they were just people that we thought were diamonds in the community. There's a lady who opened an autistic school here because she couldn't find one for her son, so she opened it. Like, how dare she? The audacity of her to be brave enough to do that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I want all of our kids that we mentor, and even adults, to understand that, look, these are people who did A, B, C, and D. You can do the same thing. Dare to dream. I dare you. That's what it is.
So we giving out awards. We're gonna be talking about the school and all the initiatives that you guys got going on. We're gonna be dressed fancy. We got music going on.
And we gonna dance.
We gonna dance. So how can people get involved with it? Or are tickets available? Or is it personal invite? How do you get involved with the ball?
Yeah, they sure are. So we have a ball website, the DNAdiamondball.com.
Okay.
We're also on social media, so Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Okay.
The LinkedIn page is under the DNA brand of companies. And we are listed on Eventbrite.
Yeah.
We are. When you go to the DNA Diamond Ball website, it gives you an area where you can, you know, book hotels up until only the 13th of February, everybody. The rooms are discounted greatly. And they're limited. So we have that. We have, you know, the availability of buying tickets. And we also have an area where there's some people who can't make it and they want to donate and be a part of it. Okay. You know, we do plan on having the place in Ghana, you know, everybody who makes donation, a brick with their name on it. So you're going to be a part of, you know, your name's going to be in the history of the building of Ghana. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff happening where that's concerned. But yeah, everybody just get on it, you know, follow us on social media for updates. You know, you'll see everything that we're doing. You'll see it is a formal event. You know, we'll kind of start to introduce more and more as we come closer in terms of our, you know, our performers or entertainment, you know, what to expect, all the new up and coming announcements, but it's going to be a great night.
And what's the date and time of the ball?
So it's March 12th, Sunday, March 12th at the Thompson Buckhead, and it's at 4 p.m. So when the red carpet begins, and we'll start all the festivities at 5.
Now, how do you guys stay so happily together in this type of stuff? Because both of y'all must be just tremendously busy trying to accomplish all of what y'all accomplish.
That's an understatement. But you know what? It's so rewarding, right? So you just do what you got to do. I mean, every day there are challenges. Not here to let you know they're not. I mean, even on our way here today, every day there's a challenge, but you got to do what you got to do. And, you know, no excuses, right?
People giving out flowers. I got to give flowers too. So again, like I said, because of COVID, I was a little bit under the weather. So, you know, it's good to have a strong support system. And they say us as men, we're the kings, but you got to have a strong queen. And I salute my wife, who is my queen, my business partner as well, because when I was under the weather, she was out there holding it down. So again, it definitely takes a strong supporting cast and being able to, you know, give flowers and credit where credit is due. You know what I mean? So
Thank you, baby.
We share the credit. So it's not about what she does or what I do. It's a we, not an I.
Absolutely.
Whatever you got in trouble in the car about, I'm sure it's over with. I know what it's like.
Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, we juggle it. We do what we got to do. And, I thank you for that. And, there are times where I'm the upfront person and he's behind the scenes. He might be like, did you eat? Did you do little things like that, where I got to keep going. But yeah, we do a lot. You are right. And it makes it hard. But like I said, because we are so in love with this and this is our true passion, which is what we want the kids to learn. Find your passion, then we'll help you run it and you'll be happy.
Wow.
Right. And because it's our passion, it really isn't hard work. I mean, and he's right. Some days I do forget to eat. And he's like, did you eat? Did you drink? Did you take your vitamins?
Where I'm like, I turn my pain into my passion.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it gets me through, both of us.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. If you could just give any advice to folks watching now, what would be like just 3 keys of life to help people?
3. So the first thing I'm going to say is be true to yourself and don't let anybody deter you from what your heart tells you to do, because you serve as an example. So if you do that within yourself, you can then really guide others to do it. Right. Wow. That's the first thing. The second thing is you got to stay positive. There's going to be challenges in life, health, finances, family, distractions. There's always going to be challenges. You got to stay positive and keep the faith, and the third thing that I'm going to say is, which should have been first, but, I'll leave the best for last is just God, whatever God you serve, that faith is what it takes to guide through the worst times. So let it guide you through the best times too. Right. Wow. And so, my faith has always been strong, but it's even stronger when things are going well. And I really believe that I can't do anything without God, and don't call on him just in bad times, keep calling on him, good times, morning times, night times. And so that's my advice. And you?
Well, for me, it's a combination in one. Basically, this last year, 2022 was a horrible year for me, but it was the best year for me because I look at it as everything happens for a reason. And I remember before, whenever we go through things, we're like, what's the reason? What's the reason? We expect that reason to show up right now. But again, it's like God, he puts us through things to teach us. And I will tell everybody from my own personal experience, I was one that I was always negative. Because where I came from, nothing good happened for people where I came from. So what happens is you get locked into that negative mindset. For example, a kid will be like, we're going to do X, Y, Z today. And the phone may ring. And I'm like, did it go through or didn't go through? Like everything is just negative for me. Negative, wow. Negative. And she was like, you can't have that negative mindset. So the key thing that I would tell everybody is when you think negative, you're putting out a negative vibration. So keep your thoughts positive at all times. And no matter what, don't give up. Because I say it's always a shake up to wake up and you're always being tested. Because there's times that like I felt like giving up. But I'm like, okay, I can't do that. God is actually putting me through this to build me up. I can't go to the gym in one day and complete my fitness goals in one day. I have to go through the ringer. As long as you stay consistency, that's my and being consistent and keeping persistent on your goals and not giving up and keeping God first, everything will fall into place for you.
Wow.
Everything.
Once again, thank y'all so much for joining me today right here on the #1 Rated Business Show. Tell folks one more time how they can get tickets to this ball, because I'm sure everybody that's listening right now is excited. They want to come. Y'all done told them they get dressed up. They're going to party.
Yes.
So please tell folks how they can be a part of this.
Absolutely. Get dressed up, come party. I want to meet every single one of you. You can find tickets and all ball information at www.thednadiamondball.com and Eventbrite. Yeah, you can also find us on Instagram and social media, the DNA Diamond Ball.
Well, I thank you so much for being a guest right here on the #1 Rated Business Show. As we come to a close, I'm killing my engineer. As we come to a close today, thank y'all so much for being a guest. And once again, everybody out there listening, please support the DNA brand. Please get tickets to this ball. I'm going to see if I can get there. Y'all didn't offer me no tickets while I was sitting here. I'm not going to take it personally. But no, y'all doing such great things. And I definitely believe in uplifting our folks. and supporting people that's trying to do the right thing and trying to do good and trying to just take our generation further, because it's not enough of us out there doing it. I don't care if everybody start, we still need more help.
Absolutely.
So definitely thank y'all so much. One more time, where can people find y'all and just follow y'all's journey on social media?
The DNA Diamond Ball and the DNA brand.
Get tickets at Eventbrite.
Get tickets at Eventbrite, and we thank you so much for having us. This is great.
Thank you.
Not a
Appreciate
problem.
you.
Make sure y'all get me that link for the tickets, so that
Absolutely.
way we'll put that in the description. So anybody want to click on it, they can go ahead and get tickets.
Absolutely.
It has
Thank
been
you.
another great show here on the Number One Rated Business Show, and I will see y'all. I think Thursday this week at 2:00. We'll be back with another great show. So once again, y'all keep following, keep listening, and we are out.